Look, here's the thing. We know Mater Dei is good, and they just keep getting better. This past weekend, beating Orange Lutheran 55-16, meaning in the first 5 games of the season, the Monarchs have now outscored their opponents a whopping 249-54. On Friday, they will take on 5-2 Santa Margarita Catholic. So taking a look at the latest rankings from our good friends at MaxPreps, no movement in the top 5. IMG Academy still number 2 at 5-0. Now they've been idle the past couple weeks, but they return to action this Friday. We're going to talk about that. And the only undefeated team in the top 5, St. John Bosco, that lone loss coming to Mater Dei a couple weeks ago, but they continue to be dominant since then. Let's welcome in the best of the best at MaxPreps, Director of Programming Steve Montoya, National Football Editor Zack Poff. Guys, we have not talked about IMG Academy here in a minute, but that's because they were off returning to action this Friday against St. Thomas More. Now, Zack, IMG Academy is number 2. Mater Dei has been holding on to that number 1 spot. It doesn't look like they're going to give it up. So what are the chances of IMG Academy repeating as MaxPreps national champs?
Now, when it comes to talent, IMG stacks up with anybody, but at the end of the year, they don't play in the playoffs, and that could potentially come back to hurt IMG Academy, because you're going to look at a Mater Dei who's number 1, and then you even got Austin Westlake at number 3. They're going to go through a 14-15 game season, and going through that playoff, winning a state title, that's going to hold a lot at the end of the season compared to when IMG Academy will just be watching. And when you stack resumes at the end of the season, I don't think IMGs will stack up with the likes of a Mater Dei or an Austin Westlake, or even if, number 8 Servite goes undefeated. So that could come back to hurt them. So IMG would need some help if they want to repeat as national champs. But, you just look at what the Ascenders are doing this year. They've been absolutely dominant. They're winning games by, around 40 points per game. And when you go talent for talent, IMG is probably the most talented team in the country. You got Katron Allen in the backfield. He was on our MaxPreps Player of the Year watch list. Offensive line's as good as anybody's in the country, led by Tyler Booker. The defense is loaded with 5 stars. I love Malik Bryan, a 2023 defensive end / outside linebacker. Jihad Campbell, the secondary's loaded. So, when you compare them talent for talent, they're probably the most talented team in the country. But when you look at resumes at the end of the season, I don't know if IMG's is going to stack up the likes of Mater Dei. They got East St. Louis in a couple of weeks. That's a big game. Then the end of the season, they got St. Francis Academy. So they would need a couple of big statements in those games. But they're not going to jump ahead of Mater Dei if Mater Dei is undefeated.